discussed about asynchronous counters and counters. So in this class, we are going to discuss about modulus counters. So till now we have discussed that synchronous or asynchronous counters can count from 0 to 2 power n minus 1 values. So here modulus counters in the sense, okay, so the counter which counts mod n values. Okay, for example, if we take 2-bit counter, okay, so it will count from 0 to 3. Okay, that means 0 to 2 power n minus 1. Okay, so 0 to 2 power 2 square minus 1. Okay, that means 0 to 3. So here the counting 3 is nothing, sorry, the counting 4. Okay, so the counting value is 4. Okay, so here that 4, the number of sequences the counter can give us is nothing but the modulus value. So that here, since 2-bit counter can count from 0 to 3 values in decimal, okay, so whereas 4 values in counting, so here it is known as mod 4 counter, okay, modulus 4 counter. So for example, if you want to design the counter which counts not only in the powers of 2, okay, so but if we want to design mod 5 counters, mod 6 counters, okay, mod 8, mod 9, mod 10, okay, so how do we do that? So it is possible, whether it is possible or not, to design a counter which can count the number of values required by the system, okay, so it is possible, okay, so modulus counters are used to design the counters, okay, so which are capable of counting any number of sequences. So here modulus counters are simply mod counters are defined based on the number of states that the counter will sequence through before returning to its original value. For example, if we design mod 4 counter, so it will count up to 4 values and immediately it comes back to 0 state, which is nothing but the initial state. For example, if we want to design mod 5 counter, so it is capable of counting 5 sequence, okay, 5 values, and immediately whenever the clock pulse, okay, whenever on the occurrence of the clock pulse, it will reach its reset state, which is nothing but the 0 state. Okay, so here we have to, before designing any modulus counters, first we need to assume how many number of flip-flops are necessary. For example, a 2-bit counter counts from 00 to 11 in binary, that is 0 to 3 in decimal, has a modulus value of 4. That means it will count from 00, 01, 10 and 11. So immediately whenever it reaches the 4th sequence in the counting, okay, so it will return to 0010. So would therefore it is called modulus 4 not 4 counter. Okay. Similarly, if we want to design mod 5 counter, so how many number of flip-flops we do need? So to satisfy the number of counting sequence, okay. So from the basic counters design, okay, so we should know, okay, so the counting sequences will be from 0 to 2 power n minus 1. Similarly, if you want to design mod 5 counter, so we require 3 flip-flops, okay, so though it is capable of counting 8 values, okay, so here since we are designing mod 5 counter only, so we have to make a design in such a way that it should sequence through from 0 to 5 immediately whenever 5th clock pulse occurs, so it has to come back to its original state, which is nothing but the reset value 0 0. So here we are going to see how we are able to design modulus counters. So however counters can be designed to count any number of 2 power n states in the sequence by cascading together multiple counting stages to produce a single modulus or mod n counter. So as I said earlier, it is possible to design a counter, okay, which is capable of counting only the number of values which are required by the system. Okay, so here what do we need to do to this design the counter? We have to add them in cascading manner, means one after another, to produce the modulus n counter. So therefore, a mod n counter will require n number of flip-flops. Okay. So connected together to count a single data bit while providing 4n different output states. So as I said earlier, if you want to design, okay, so mod 5 counter, so n number of flip-flops which satisfy the equation, okay, so n is n should be 3, okay, because 0 to 2 power n minus 1, okay, so it is capable of counting 8, okay, but here we will design in such a way that it should calculate only the number of desired states, and we have to design in such a way that so it has to be cleared out after soon after it reaches the desired counting sequence. So note that here always n, okay, is always a whole integer value. So here we will be designing mod 6 asynchronous counter. Okay, that means it is able to count number of clock pulses are 6. So hence it is known as mod 6 asynchronous counter in the sense. So here the clock pulse is applied only to the first flip-flop in the design, and remaining flip-flops will get the clock signal from the previous stages of the flip-flops. Since mod 6 counter, okay, so it is capable of counting the states from 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0 and 1, 0, 1. Okay, so immediately whenever it reaches the value of 1, 1, 0, which is nothing but 6, so it is temporarily goes to that state, but immediately since it has the feedback provided, okay, from the last stage of the flip-flop, immediately it resets and the value becomes 0, 0, 0 because of the feedback provided in the system design. So when the 6th clock pulse is applied, the counter temporarily goes to 1, 1, 0 state, but immediately resets to 0, 0, 0 because of the feedback provided, and it is divided by 6 counter in the sense that it divides into clock frequency by 6. Okay, so it simply divides the number of clock pulses. So since we are designing mod 6 counter, so whenever it reaches 6 value, okay, 6th clock pulse, okay, so it will divide the value and immediately resets to original states. For example, if we design mod 8, okay, so at the occurrence of 8th clock pulse, okay, so since the feedback is provided, it will divide the clock pulse 8, so it will assume that, so this is only required value which is to be counted, and immediately it will clear the all flip-flops and resets, and once again it will come back to the initial state, which is nothing but the 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so this is how we are going to design modulus counters. So let us see the block diagram of modulus 6 counter. Okay, so since it requires 3 flip-flops, as I said earlier, because the smallest value of n satisfying the condition n is less than or equal to 2n. Okay, so mod 6 is always less than or equal to 2 into 3. Okay, 6. So 6 equal to 6. So okay, n is 3. So 3 flip-flops can have 8 possible states, as I said earlier, because it is able to count from 0 to 2 power n minus 1 values. Okay, so out of which only 6 are utilized and the remaining 2 states are invalid. That is 110 and 111 are invalid. So here this is the design of mod 6 counter using T flip-flops. Okay, here we have taken 3 T flip-flops. So since clock is obtained, okay, from the previous values, okay, so it is known as previous outputs of the flip-flops, it is known as asynchronous counter. Okay, so here to provide the feedback, one NAND gate has been utilized. Okay, so whose inputs are nothing but QA and QC. Okay, so let us see the operation of the mod 6 counter. So the operation of the mod 6 counter is similar to the bind the asynchronous counter. Okay, bind the asynchronous up counter. Okay, since all the inputs are tied to 1 naturally. Okay, so first clock pulse. Okay, before the application of clock pulse, so all the flip-flops are at reset state 0 0 0. Okay, and immediately whenever first clock pulse is applied to the first flip-flop, okay, A, okay, then what will happen? Okay, only Q0 will become 1, remaining will be 0. So in the second clock pulse, okay, so only the second flip-flop will be 1, okay, so on remaining values will be 0. So in the sense it is equal to the operation of synchronous binary up counter. But what will happen whenever the count, okay, whenever the clock pulse reaches to 6, okay, so 110, okay, then what will happen? So at that time, since the NAND gate, okay, so the NAND gate is provided with so inputs of QC and QA. So let us see the truth table. Okay, here. See, initially the flip flops are at reset condition. So QC, QB, QA values are 0, 0, 0. And after the first clock pulse, okay, so the counting must be 1. After the second clock pulse, it is 2. And after the third clock pulse, okay, 3. After the fourth clock pulse, 4. After the fifth clock pulse, 1 0 1. And what will happen since here both QC and QA are applied to the input of NAND gate here. If you observe clearly, QC and QA are applied to the NAND gate as inputs. So since both QC and QA, okay, are 1 and 1, what will be the output of NAND gate? Obviously 0. Okay, so this will clear. Okay, see, if you see, the feedback has been provided to the 3 flip-flops in the form of clear, CLR. Okay, so since the clear values, okay, is 0, okay, so all the 3 flip-flops are cleared and the sequence will go back to 0 0 0 once again. Okay, so this will happen on the occurrence of 6th clock pulse. Why? Because QC and QA inputs are connected to NAND gate input. Okay, so NAND gate is designed to give the feedback. Okay, so such that it is possible to reset the flip-flops once again whenever the desired sequence is achieved. Okay, so this is how the modulus encounter will work. Next, let us see one more modulus counter, which is nothing but mod 10 asynchronous counter. So here, since it is mod 10, it is able to count the values from 0 to 9. Okay, so which are nothing but 10 values. Okay, so mod 10 counter is decade counter because it counts 10 values. So it is also called a BCD counter or divide by 10 counter. So it requires 4 flip-flops. Why? Because n should be less than or equal to 2n. Okay, but here it is possible, okay, to count the values 16 because 4 flip-flops are necessary. 2 power n minus 1, right? So 2 power 4 minus 1, 15, 0 to 15, which are nothing but the 16 number of states it is able to count. But here only we require 10 values. Okay, so immediately after the 10th clock pulse, so the counter once again reset to 0 0 0 0. Okay, to the feedback provided, same as in the case of mod 6 counter. Okay, so it requires 4 flip-flops. So there are 16 possible states, out of which only 10 are valid and remaining 6 are invalid. Okay, 0 0. See, the counter has 10 table states which are from 0 0 0 through 1 1 0 0 1, which is nothing but the 9. Okay, so that is it counts from 0 to 9. Totally it can count the values, the counting sequence values are 10. So this is the design of mod 10 counter or decade counter or BCD counter or divide by 10 counter. So the initial state is 0 0 0. Okay, because initially all the flip-flops has been cleared, and after 9 clock pulses, okay, so it goes to 1 0 0 1. When the 10th clock pulse is applied, so the counter goes to 1 0 1 0 temporarily, but because of the feedback provided, it resets to initial state. So here we have taken JK flip-flops. Okay, so both are connected to high value. Okay, J and K, because whenever J and K are connected to 1 1, we know that toggle condition happened. Okay, so that is the reason instead of T flip-flops, JK flip-flops have been selected. Okay, so first flip-flop is connected to high. Okay, so second flip-flop, third flip-flop, fourth flip-flop also are tied to 1. Always their inputs are 1. Okay, so the output of first stage is given as clock, okay, to the next stage and so on. So on here, we see we have taken one more. Okay, we have taken one NAND gate here at the last flip-flop. Okay, so whose inputs are coming from last flip-flop. Okay, that means QC, and first flip-flop. Okay, QA. Okay, so whenever QA and QD, okay, so whenever QD and QA are 1, so immediately the output will be 0. So since it is reset condition, so okay, so it is given to the clear. Okay, so the clear will be high. Okay, so since clear is 0, so all the values of the flip-flops will be cleared. Okay, so immediately it will count back and it will reset, it will come back to the initial position 0 0 0 0. Okay, so this is the operation is similar, okay, to that of asynchronous binary up counter. So during the first, before the application of clock pulses, all the values are at 0, and on the occurrence of first clock pulse, first flip flop will become, okay, so its output will become 1 and remaining will be 0 0 0. Okay, so like that, if you observe the truth table, you will get to know. So this is the timing diagram. Okay, so this is because the possible number of states, okay, are 16. So 16 clock pulses have been shown. Okay, so during the first occurrence of clock, okay, since it is negative edge trigger flip flop. Okay, so on the trailing edge of the clock, so the QA value will become 1, and after, since toggling case happens, the next value will be, means the next state will be 0, and remaining on the third occurrence of clock pulse it will become 1, so and so on. Whereas the QB, okay, so will become high after each two values. Okay, so the QC will become high after 3 clock pulses. Okay, and QD will become high after the desired sequence is reached. Okay, so 4 clock, 8 clock pulses. So here it will become high again. And if you see here, if you observe here, QA and QD, whenever QA and QD are 1, okay, so it will, the NAND gate will generate reset pulse. Okay, so which is nothing but the input to the clear value. Okay, since clear is 0, okay, so till 10 clock pulses it will count. Okay, so immediately on the occurrence of 10 clock pulses, clear will become 0. Okay, so that is why the initial flip flop, okay, so all the flip flops are reset, they will come back to 0 0 0 initial state. So here is the truth table. So the operation is similar to the asynchronous binary up counter. Okay, so these are the QD, QC, QB, QA values. Okay, the output bit pattern of all the flip flops during first, second, third. Okay, till 10. Okay, so on the occurrence of 10th clock pulse, which is nothing but the counting sequence. Okay, so 11. Okay, so but in terms of binary values, okay, so 1010. Okay, so whenever it will go temporarily to 1010 state, but immediately since the output, okay, so QD and QA are 1 here, okay, during the 10th clock pulse. Okay, so the NAND gate will reset. Okay, so after the counting sequence has been reached to desired sequence, that is from 0 to 9. Okay, So immediately it will reset the flip-flops. So once again they'll come back to 0 value once again. So this is how we are going to design different values of modulus counters. So next let us see uh, ring counter. What is ring counter? What is the advantages of ring and twisted ring counters? So ring counter is nothing but a sequential circuit, okay? So which is constructed using shift register. So shift register, what is the operation of shift register? As we discussed previously, okay? Shift register is able to perform either left shift or right shift operation. So using that condition, we are able to design the ring counters. So in which, okay, so the value is just shifted, okay, so it's just shifted either left or right based on the design, okay. So same data recirculates in the counter depending on the clock pulse. So if we use n flip-flops in the ring counter, so the one value which we have given at the first flip-flop is being circulated for every n clock pulses. So this is very easy to construct. Why? Because at each at the terms of each clock pulse, only one of the flip-flop is set. Okay, so the remaining will be at reset condition. So that is why only that one value which is given at the first flip-flop, okay, so is being circulated and the clock, okay. So and based on how many clock pulses we are going to give, so that many values can be counted. So let us see the block diagram. So this is an example of a 6-bit mod 6 ring counter. So here what we need to understand is, so in ring counter, the number of values it is going to be counted is equal to the number of flip-flops which we are using in the design. So mod 6 counter, okay, C is able to count only 6 states, okay, and whereas it requires n flip-flops, okay. So number of states equal to number of flip-flops here. So that is what we have to understand in case of ring counter, okay. So this is the design of 6-bit mod 6 ring counter, okay. So where we have taken 6D flip-flops, okay, and the feedback, okay, so is provided from the last stage to the first stage, okay. So same output is being shifted after each clock pulse, and whereas here, since clock is provided to all flip-flops at the same time, so this is also known as synchronous counter. And clear input is applied to the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth flip-flops, okay, such that they should be at 0 at the occurrence of first clock pulse. And the preset value, okay, so is applied to the first stage of the flip-flop, since here we are going to apply first, okay, active high value only to the first flip-flop, okay, and the remaining values is just being shifted and at the sixth flip-flop, okay. So the output is once again fed back to the initial, okay, to flip-flop, such that the shifting operation is continued. Now let us see the working of this mod 6 ring counter. So this is the truth table and state diagram. Since it is mod 6 counter, it is able to count only 6 states. So though we have used 6 number of flip-flops, okay, so it is designed to count only 6 values, okay. So during the first occurrence of clock pulse, okay, so what will happen, since, okay, so since the first flip-flop was set, okay, to 1, so its output will become 1, okay. So remaining values are at 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. That one next, during the occurrence of next clock pulse, so that 1, okay, since Q naught is 1, so what will be the input to second flip-flop? So Q naught is 1, since D will get 1, okay. Only second flip-flop will set now and remaining all at 0, 0, 0, 0. Why? Because those outputs are 0, 0, 0, 0, okay, respectively. And during the occurrence of hot clock pulse, okay, so since Q1 is 1, So third flip-flop is going to be set and remaining all at 0, 0, 0, 0. And during the occurrence of fourth clock pulse, okay, so since Q2 is 1, the fourth flip-flop is going to be set. Okay, so its output will become 1 and remaining values are 0, 0, 0. Okay, so during the occurrence of fifth clock pulse, okay, since Q3 is 1, so fifth flip-flop is going to be set. Okay, so its output will be 4. Okay, and Q5 will be 0. And during the occurrence of sixth clock pulse, okay, since Q4 is 1, so sixth flip-flop is going to be set and its output will become 1. Since this has been fed back to the initial state, okay, it will start the sequence once again. Okay, starting from 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So since it is D flip-flop, same value is going to be transmitted. Okay, because if we apply D as 1, so same output is obtained at the output. Okay, so if we apply 0, 0 is going to be produced. Okay, so this is how, these are the states, number of states, 6 states. Okay, so initially 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, next 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, next 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, next 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, next 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, next 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. So here the advantage is it is easy. Okay, so since all three flip-flops, okay, so the counting sequence is easy because only six flip-flops are used. Okay, so since at one clock pulse, only one of the flip-flops is going to be set. So the counting sequence is easy to obtain. Okay, but the disadvantage is, so it requires more number of flip-flops, and out of since 2 power 6 values are used. Okay, so many of the states, okay, so are being wasted. Only 6 states we are using and remaining all the, okay, so states are going to be wasted. So since it is using 6 number of flip-flops, so it is able to count 65 values. Okay, so whereas all that states are going to be wasted, only 6 states are being used, so remaining states are not utilized. So that is the disadvantage of this shifted, okay, ring counter. So this can be minimized. Okay, so the number of flip-flops and number of wasted counting sequences can be decreased by using twisted round ring counter or Johnson counter. So here simply the complement of the output of the last stage is connected back to the D input of the first stage. So it is also called the twisted ring counter. So if we see shift register count, so two value, okay, Q5 is directly applied to the input of the first stage of the flip-flop. So whereas, okay, if you look at this 4-bit, okay, so mod 8 Johnson counter, so Q bar, okay, the complementary output of the last flip-flop is going to be applied as the feedback input to the first flip-flop. So this is the difference between Johnson counter and ring counter. And here it is possible, okay, to increase the number of states, okay, by simply taking less number of flip-flops. For example, here we have taken 4 number of flip-flops and it is able to count 4 into 2, okay, 2n, okay, so mod 8 values, okay, 2 into 4, 8, okay, so it is possible to count 8 values, unlike the rate of register counter, okay, so that means ring counter. So it requires fewer flip-flops than ring counters, but more flip-flops than binary counter. Okay. See, if we want to use the binary counters, 3 flip-flops are enough. Okay. So to count the 8 values. But whereas in Johnson counter, we are using 4 flip-flops. So that is only the difference. Okay, between binary counters and Johnson counter. But the advantage over ring counter is it requires only 4 flip-flops, okay, to count the 8 number of states, okay. So whereas in ring counter we need 60 flip-flops to count 60 states itself. So an n-bit Johnson counter cycles through 2 n states. That means 2 into n states, okay. If we select 4 flip-flops, it will sequence through 8, okay. If we select only 3 flip-flops, it will sequence up to 6 states. So if we select 5, it will count up to 10 values. So this is how the Johnson counter is being designed. So this is the example, okay. Logic diagram of 4-bit modulus 8 Johnson counter, and it is synchronous counter, okay. So for D flip-flops we are using here, and the complement output of the last stage is fed back to the input as first stage, okay, and clear value has been applied to all flip-flops to reset the flip-flop at initial condition and before the application of the clock signal, okay. And if you look at the truth table and the state diagram here, so during the first, okay, so when there is no clock pulse, so clear is set to 0, so that all the flip-flops are clear, okay, which is nothing but reset condition, okay, 0 0 0 0. The outputs are 0 0 0 0, okay, of all the flip-flops respectively, and at the occurrence of first, okay, clock pulse. So what will happen now? Okay, so at the occurrence of first clock pulse, okay, since Q3 was 0 previously, but the complement has been applied to the first flip-flop, okay, so Q3 bar is 1, so D, the first flip-flop D will get 1, so the output will become, Q0 will become 1 in the next state, so that is why 1 0 0 1, okay. So during the second clock pulse, what will happen now? Okay, so since Q0 is 1, okay, so Q0 1 is up, okay, so since it is shifted counter, so okay, so Q0 is 1, the second flip-flop is going to be set, okay, so and will copy the value, okay, so 1, and what will happen to Q0 now? Because so since we have applied constantly the complement value, so this value will not going to be changed, okay, so that is why 1 will be as it is, okay, so during the next clock pulse also, okay, because it was at high logic only, so on the Q0 is 1, so second flip-flop will say, so Q1 will become 1, whereas since previous state was of Q1 was 0, so Q2 will become 0, Q3 also will become 0. Okay, and during the occurrence of third clock pulse, what will happen now? Since Q3 bar is always at 1, so first flip-flop will be at 1. Okay, second flip-flop, since Q0 was 1, Q1 will become 1. And since Q1 was 1, okay, Q2 also will become 1. Whereas Q2 was 0, so Q3 will be at 0 itself. And at the occurrence of fourth clock pulse, okay, since Q3 bar is at 1 itself, okay, Q0 will become 1, okay. So since Q0, the previous state was 1, okay, the next state also, okay, Q1, okay. So because second flip-flop is at high level, so D was 1, so the output will become 1. And similarly Q1 was 1, so the output of third flip-flop also will become 1. So since Q2 was 1, the output of fourth flip-flop also will become 1. Now we state, okay, so this state of Q0 will be going to change. Why? Because since Q3 was 1 now, okay, so what will happen now? Q3 bar is applied as the input to the first stage of the flip-flop. So since Q3 bar is 1 now, okay, sorry, Q3 bar is 0 now, so first flip-flop will be at 0 value now, okay. So D value it is going to get is 0. So that is why since D is 0, so Q0 will be getting is 0. But previous state of Q0 was 1. So that is why Q1, Q2, Q3 values will not going to be changed. Okay. So the same value 0 is going to be shifted in the next clock pulses respectively. Okay, so that is why the counting sequence is like this. So initially 0 0 0 0, next 1 0 1 0 1 0 0 0, so next 1 1 0 0, next 1 1 1 0, okay, next 1 1 1 1, okay, next 0 1 1 1, next 0 0 1 1 0 0 1, okay. So this is how it is going to be counted. So it just counts the number of uh, values are 8, okay. So it just shifts, okay. So accordingly it just shifts the value, okay, whether it is 1 or 0, okay. So unlike the synchronous or binary counters, okay, so here the number of states are calculated, okay. So using the gray code is used to count the number of states in Johnson counter, because if you observe here, only the one value is going to be changed, only one state of the uh, is going to be changed, whether Q0 or Q1 or Q2 or Q4 is going to be changed, but not all at a time. So that is why the gray code has been used to count the number of values in shifted ring counter, that is nothing but the twisted ring counter or Johnson counter. Hope you understand. Thank you.